Most men over 60 dress for the body they had at 40. The clothes that worked at 40, the cut, the fit, the proportions, no longer work at 60 because the body has changed. Not worse, different. And dressing for the body as it is now, rather than as it was, produces a sharper, more defined, and more authoritative impression than any attempt to dress as if the change did not happen. 5 body types, 5 specific dressing principles. The most universally applicable principle of all 5 is the last one. Do not skip ahead. Dressing for the body type after 60 is not about hiding the body or compensating for it. It is about understanding what the current body communicates naturally and choosing clothes that confirm and amplify that communication rather than work against it. These 5 body type principles apply regardless of price point, style preference, or wardrobe size. They require no new pieces, only the knowledge of which existing pieces to reach for first and which to set aside. On this channel, classic menswear for men over 60 who want to look sharp without overcomplicating it. No trends, just what works. In this video, how to dress for your body type after 60. 5 body types, 5 dressing principles, and the one principle that applies to every body type simultaneously. The first body type and the correct dressing principle. The broader build, the man whose shoulders and chest are wide, whose torso has weight, and whose overall silhouette is horizontal rather than vertical. Here is what vertical dressing does for the broader build. A dark monochromatic combination, dark navy blazer over dark navy trouser, creates one continuous vertical line that makes the broader silhouette appear longer and more defined rather than wider and heavier. Now here is the part nobody talks about. The most common mistake of the broader build after 60 is wearing clothes that are too large, the instinct to cover the broader body with excess fabric. The excess fabric does not conceal the broader build, it adds visual width to it. And this is where most men with a broader build get it completely wrong. They avoid the correctly fitted blazer because it feels restrictive compared to the loose version they have worn for years. The correctly fitted blazer is not restrictive. The broader build wardrobe principles. Dark monochromatic or tonal combinations, navy with navy, charcoal with charcoal, dark olive with dark chino. No contrasting horizontal breaks, correctly fitted blazer and trouser, not the oversized alternative. Single color shirts with no busy patterns. Takeaway. Broader build, dark monochromatic vertical combinations, correctly fitted clothes, not oversized, no horizontal breaks, no contrasting belts, no wide stripes, no busy patterns. The vertical line amplifying the broader build as commanding presence rather than horizontal width. And once the broader build principle is understood, the second body type uses the opposite approach. The leaner build that needs to add visual presence rather than remove it. The second body type needs to add visual presence. The leaner build, less width, less visual weight. The clothes that add presence without adding bulk. Body type 2. Leaner build, adding presence without adding bulk. The second body type and the correct dressing principle. The leaner build, the man whose frame is naturally narrow, whose shoulders are less broad, and whose overall silhouette lacks the visual weight that communicates physical presence. Here is what layering does for the leaner build. A 3-layer combination, blazer over fine knit over Oxford shirt, adds visual presence at 3 simultaneous layers. The collar reveal above the crew neck at the lapel, the Oxford cuff below the blazer sleeve. Now here is the part nobody talks about. Texture adds visual weight to the leaner build in a way that color alone cannot. And this is where most men with a leaner build get it completely wrong. They wear the dark monochromatic combination, the all-navy or all-charcoal outfit, because it feels controlled and sophisticated. On the leaner build, the dark monochromatic removes the visual presence the body already lacks. The leaner build wardrobe principles. 3-layer combinations where possible. The collar reveal, the crew neck, the Oxford cuff adding visual presence at multiple points. Textured outer layers, tweed, herringbone, ribbed knit. Takeaway, leaner build. 3-layer combinations, textured outer layers, tonal variation rather than dark monochromatic. Horizontal elements used deliberately to add visual width. Layering and texture adding the visual presence and weight the leaner build communicates through clothing rather than through the silhouette alone. And once the leaner build principle is understood, the third body type addresses the most common change that happens to the body after 60, and the one most men try to dress around rather than dress for. The third body type addresses the most common post-60 body change, the change most men try to dress around, the principle that dresses for it instead. Body type 3, most common post-60 change, dressing for it, not around it. The third body type and the correct dressing principle. The changed midsection, the body where weight has settled at the waist and abdomen after 60, changing the proportion between the chest and the midsection. Here is why the high-rise trouser specifically works for the changed midsection. Now here is the part nobody talks about. The jacket worn open, not buttoned, is the correct approach for the changed midsection. The buttoned jacket pulls across the midsection, creating visible stress marks on the fabric and drawing attention to the point the man most wants to de-emphasize. And this is where most men with a changed midsection get it completely wrong. They wear the low-rise or mid-rise trouser because it is the standard cut, and the result is the shirt bunching above the waistband at the widest point. The changed midsection wardrobe principles. High-rise trouser in dark straight-leg cut, the high waist covering the changed midsection, the dark color and straight leg creating the vertical line, jacket always worn open, shirt always tucked. Takeaway. Changed midsection, high-rise trouser at the natural waist, jacket worn open, never buttoned, shirt tucked cleanly. Dark, straight-leg trouser creating the vertical, open jacket framing the chest rather than compressing the midsection. And once the changed midsection principle is understood, the fourth body type addresses the opposite challenge. The man whose upper body is significantly stronger than his lower body. The fourth body type addresses the opposite. The upper body significantly stronger than the lower. The proportion imbalance that most dressing principles address incorrectly. Body type 4. Upper stronger than lower, proportion imbalance. Addressed incorrectly by most. The fourth body type, and the correct dressing principle. The inverted triangle, the man whose shoulders and chest are significantly broader than his hips and legs, creating a V shape that tapers sharply from the shoulders downward. Here is what the wrong lower half dressing does to the inverted triangle. The slim or tapered trouser on the inverted triangle amplifies the taper, the already narrow leg appearing even narrower in contrast to the broad shoulder above. The silhouette reads as top-heavy rather than balanced. Now here is the part nobody talks about. The inverted triangle benefits from avoiding the structured, padded blazer that amplifies the shoulder, because the shoulder is already the inverted triangle's most prominent visual feature. And this is where most men with an inverted triangle build get it completely wrong. They choose slim trousers because they feel modern and controlled, without understanding that the slim trouser amplifies the taper from the broad shoulder to the narrow leg. The inverted triangle wardrobe principles. Straight leg or slightly wider trouser, the lower body visual width balanced against the broader upper body, unstructured or lightly structured blazer, the shoulder not additionally amplified. Takeaway. Inverted triangle, straight leg or slightly wider trouser, unstructured or lightly structured upper body, visual interest at the lower body to balance the broader upper half. The straight leg trouser adding lower body visual width. And once all four body type principles are understood, the fifth principle is the one that applies to every body type simultaneously, and that produces more improvement in the appearance than any body type-specific adjustment. The fifth principle applies to every body type simultaneously, more improvement than any body type-specific adjustment. The universal body type principle after 60. Principle 5. Universal. Every body type. More improvement than any specific adjustment. The fifth and most universally impactful body type dressing principle after 60. The shoulder seam at the natural edge confirmed at every blazer, jacket, and sport coat purchase regardless of body type. The shoulder seam is the one fit point that affects every body type equally. Here is why the shoulder seam is the universal fit point. The shoulder seam is the only fit element that cannot be corrected by a tailor after purchase. Moving the shoulder seam is a major alteration that costs more than most jackets are worth. Now here is the part nobody talks about. The shoulder seam at the natural edge looks different on different body types because the natural edge of the shoulder is at a different angle and a different point on each body. The broader build's natural shoulder edge is wider and more horizontal, and this is where most men of every body type get it completely wrong. They assess the jacket by how it feels through the chest and the body, the comfort elements, without checking the shoulder seam position first. The shoulder seam check for every body type. Try the jacket on. Stand straight. Look at the shoulder seam position in the mirror from the front. The 5 body type principles together. Broader build, dark monochromatic vertical, correct fit. Leaner build, layering, texture, tonal variation, changed midsection, high-rise trouser, open jacket, shirt tucked. Takeaway. The shoulder seam at the natural edge, the universal body type principle, confirmed at every jacket purchase before any other element is assessed, cannot be tailored after purchase, the fit point that affects every body type equally. And once all 5 principles are understood, the man over 60 who applies them to his current wardrobe without purchasing a single new piece produces a sharper, more defined, and more authoritative appearance immediately. Here is what dressing for the body you have now produces. The broader build man in a dark monochromatic vertical combination with a correctly fitted blazer, commanding presence, not horizontal width. Why dressing for the current body is more powerful than dressing for the past one. The man who dresses for the body he had at 40, the clothes that worked then, the fit that was correct then, communicates a disconnect between his appearance and his current self. Now here is the part nobody talks about. The body changes after 60 are not uniform. Most men experience 2 or 3 of the 5 body type changes simultaneously. The broader build man may also have a changed midsection. The inverted triangle man may also have a leaner lower body. The wardrobe audit for body type. This week, try on 3 blazers currently owned and check the shoulder seam position on each. The seam at the natural edge, keep. The seam drooping, set aside for replacement at the next purchase. Try on 3 trousers and check the rise. No new pieces required for the principles. The dark monochromatic combination, assembled from pieces already owned by putting the navy blazer with the dark navy trouser rather than the khaki chino. The compound effect of 5 principles applied simultaneously. The broader build man who applies the dark vertical, the correct fit, and the shoulder seam confirmation simultaneously produces an appearance more commanding than any single principle alone. Takeaway. 5 body type principles. Broader build, dark vertical, correct fit, leaner build, layering, texture, tonal variation, changed midsection, high-rise trouser, open jacket, shirt tucked, inverted triangle, straight-leg trouser, unstructured upper body. Here is the final truth about dressing for the body type after 60. The body at 60 plus is not a problem to be solved by the right clothes. Not the body at 40, dressed for nostalgically. The body at 60 plus, dressed for correctly, not concealment, amplification. 5 principles. The current body dressed for, the appearance sharper than it has been. Which of these 5 body type principles are you applying first? Drop it in the comments. The one that most surprises men, the one they never expected to make this much difference, is almost always the 5th. The shoulder seam at the natural edge confirmed at every jacket purchase. What was yours? Subscribe for straight, practical style advice for men who value confidence over trends. Next video, how to choose the right glasses after 60.